Hi everyone, I hope you're okay, and I hope that guys the videos will keep uploading and helping you out. This is the fourth video, guys, where I'm tackling past exam question papers. Please do expect 33 questions that should be answered. Ne? Organic chemistry is divided into three parts. It simply means that each part I will answer 11 questions for each part. Ne? So I'm still doing the first part whereby I'm writing structural formulas, IUPAC names, giving out isomers and stuff. And then the second part, that's where I'll be dealing with intermolecular forces. And then the third part will be the chemical reactions that happens within organic compounds. Okay, in tackling this question, guys, before I even start answering, I must analyze each and every compound individually. And whenever I'm given a structural formula, I must always give an IUPAC name. If I'm given an IUPAC name, I must I must I must draw a structural formula. Okay. Uh for compound A, I have a double bond over there, ne? And this is a hydrocarbon. So my longest chain should always have that double bond. So this is my longest chain altogether. So, and this will be carbon number 1 because I must start counting or numbering from the carbon which is closer to the functional group. In this case, I must start counting from the carbon which is closer to the double bond. Okay, and I can also see that in carbon number 2, I have a side chain. So whenever I name this hydrocarbon, I'll simply say in carbon number 2, I have 2-methyl prop 1 in. Even if you say this is methyl propene, you're not going to be wrong, because there's only one type of methyl propene. And for those who want to be fancy, you could have said this is isopropene. You're not going to be wrong. And then for compound B, I'm given an IUPAC name. I must draw a structure. It's a butanoic acid. It simply means that my carboxylic acid has 4 carbons on its longest chain, and I have a double bond O at the terminal carbon. They said I'm dealing with a butanoic acid. That means I have a side chain in carbon number 2. It's 2-methyl butanoic acid. And then all I have to do is to write the hydrogens over there. Ne? Let me just do so. Hydrogen, 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 hydrogen. Okay. That's how we draw 2-methyl butanoic acid. And then compound C, I'm given a structural formula. That means I must give out an IUPAC name. Ne? Firstly, before I give out an IUPAC name, I must establish the parent chain. The parent chain is the one that has the longest number of carbons. I cannot say this is my parent chain because it has only 5 carbons together. But if I count like this, I will have 6 carbons together, and I must always start numbering from the carbon which is closer to the functional group. My functional group is double bond O. That means I'm dealing with the ketone because the carbonyl group is between adjacent carbons. So this will be carbon number 1, carbon 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Okay. So this simply means that in carbon number 4, I have a side chain. In carbon number 4. So whenever I name this thing over there, I'll simply say this would be 4-methyl, 4-methyl. The parent chain has 6 carbons, so the prefix is hexane. And then in carbon number 3, I have a carbonyl group. It's 4-methyl hexane 3-one. Remember that I'm dealing with the ketone, so the suffix has to be -one. And then compound D. Compound D has multiple side chains, né? So I must start numbering from the carbon which is closer to the side chain. So if this is my parent chain, it simply means that this will be carbon number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are together. Please, guys, do not make a mistake of saying these two are side chains. You cannot have a side chain on the terminal carbon. You can never have that. So whenever I name this thing, okay, I can see I have different side chains, né? I have two sets of the same side chain which are called methyl because they have one carbon, and then I have this one which has two carbons. It's called an ethyl. Whenever I name this compound, I'll simply say I'll simply start with an ethyl because I must go in an alphabetical order. So I'll simply say at carbon number 4 I have ethyl, and then carbon number 2 I have two sets of the methyls, so I'll say this is dimethyl, and then my longest chain has 6 carbons, so this will be hexane. Yeah, it's a saturated hydrocarbon, so it's hexane. So that will be the IUPAC name. And then for compound E, it's but2-ene. The parent chain has 2 carbons, and then in carbon number 2, between carbon number 2 and 3, I have a double bond. So the structure will be like this. The structure would be like that, né? And then compound F, guys, it's a polymer. You don't have to worry about it. It's not part of your syllabus. So anything that has to do with compound F, we'll just mice it. Okay, 2.1.1, name the functional group of compound E. Compound E, it's a carboxylic acid. The functional group is called a carboxyl group. Carboxyl group or carboxyl ion. Carboxyl group or ion, né? And then the homologous series to which compound C belongs. Compound C is a ketone because it has a double bond O between adjacent carbons. So compound C is a ketone. We will mice this question because it's dealing with compound F, and then we'll mice this one as well. Then 2.2.2, we must write down the IUPAC name of compound C. We did say that's 4-methyl hexane 3-one. Compound C, it's 4-methyl hexane 3-one. And then compound D, that's 4-ethyl 2.2 dimethyl hexane. That's 4-ethyl 2.2 dimethyl hexane. Okay, and then write down the name or formula of each product formed during complete combustion of compound D. The products of complete combustion, guys, it's always carbon dioxide and water. Always the time, né? And then we must write down the structural formula of compound B. What's compound B? Or 2-methyl butanoic acid. Already did that, but let me redraw it. It's 2-methyl butanoic acid. You can draw your side chain there. It's still okay. Then we write the H's. That's your 2-methyl butanoic acid. Ne? Then a chain isomer of compound A. What is compound A? Compound A is methylpropene. Chain isomer would be butane. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can say but2-ene. They have the same molecular formula but different structural formula. So they are just isomers of one another. Okay, a laboratory assistant uses bromine water to distinguish between compound D and E. What is compound D? Compound D is an alkane. Compound E is an alkene. Okay. She adds bromine water to a sample of each in 2 different test tubes. She observes that one compound decolorizes the bromine water immediately, whilst the other only reacts after placing the test tube in the direct light. Remember that, guys, unsaturated hydrocarbons, they react spontaneously. Are you together? But saturated hydrocarbons, they do not react spontaneously. They require ultraviolet rays or ultraviolet light for them to react. Their reaction is exothermic. Okay, write down letter D or E of the compound that will immediately decolorize. That's compound E. Because it's an unsaturated hydrocarbon, they will just react spontaneously. And then the name the type of reaction that takes place in test tube D. Test tube D, we have a saturated hydrocarbon. So if we place a bromine water, okay, let me rather say alkanes undergo 2 types of reactions only. It's either elimination or substitution. Are we together? So this type of a reaction will be substitution reaction. This would be substitution reaction. If there was a concentrated strong base, it would have been an elimination. Are we together? Okay, 2.5.3. Write down the structure here. Write down the structural formula of the organic product formed in the test tube containing compound E. What is compound E? It's but2-ene. So what will happen here is that whenever we add in bromine water, we will just separate these bonds. I'll show you how. You just have a saturated compound like this. Let me indicate these ones in red, just to show you we've separated that bond over there to form a dibromo. So this would be the organic compound form in test tube of compound E, and the IUPAC name would be 2.3 dibromobutane. That's how, guys, you're supposed to answer this question. Just stay tuned, guys. Wait for more videos and don't forget to subscribe.